Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to share with you the solution to one of the common problem which every shareholder who has bought shares back in 90s or before that or in early 2000s is facing, that is lost share certificates. As we all must be aware that before dematerialization, shares were being bought in the form of physical share certificates. Now the problem is there are a lot of people who have bought shares long time back of companies like Reliance, Tata, Wipro, which are quite valuable now, but with the passage of time, share certificates went missing. As a result, they cannot have claim over the entitlement of dividend as well as those shares so that they can sell off and earn money. In this video, I am going to tell you the complete procedure as to what you have to do right from the first step to the last step in order to have the duplicate share certificates so that you can get them dematerialized further and have claim over your shares as well as the dividend in lieu of them. Before we get started, I would like to tell you that in my procedure or my narration, example will be Reliance Industries Limited, because the issue I faced was related to the share certificates of Reliance Industries Limited. But more or less the procedure for every company is almost the same. So you need not worry as if you do not have shares of Reliance Industries Limited. Instead, you have shares of some other company like Tata, Wipro. Then what to do? The procedure is almost the same. So with this, let's get started. Step 1. Very simple. All you need to do is mail the company and explain your problem, whatever it is. What you need to say. If you do not know what you need to say, this is what you need to say. To whomsoever it may concern, I hereby want to bring into your attention that I have lost my shares, which brings an entitlement to those shares in your company, and provide with the details of these shares. Now comes the important point. Let's say you do not have the details of the shares, but the least you need to have is a folio number. Now what is folio number? Well, folio number is account number of a particular shareholder which provides with the complete detail of the share entitlement of that very person in the company. So the least you need to have is the folio number. You provide that folio number. Further, you will say that please provide me with the procedure as to get the duplicate share certificates. Regards, and you'll send the mail. Now, where to send the mail? It's easy. Google the name of the company. You can type share certificates loss problem, where to contact Tata, and you'll find the email ID where you need to send the mail. In case of Reliance Industries, I'll share you the email ID where you need to contact. In case of Reliance Industries, this is the mail ID being shown on the screen. Further, now wait for the reply of the company, and you'll surely receive it in a while. Let's say it could be in 1 or 2 days or maximum in 7 days. Now, when you will receive that reply, in that what you will receive is this: a format to get the duplicate share certificates. In this, we'll go one by one, explaining each and everything, what documents you need to provide, what agreements you need to execute. There are the two important documents you need to execute of one of which is indemnity agreement, other is an affidavit. The indemnity agreement you need to get prepared on the 500 rupees non-judicial stamp paper, affidavit on rupees 100 non-judicial stamp paper. Now what is the content of these agreements and affidavit? Let's discuss. In indemnity agreement, what you need to do is basically, if I'll tell you in brief what you're doing in indemnity agreement, as I told you before, you're indemnifying the company against the loss. Any loss, if any, arises to them due to they issuing you duplicate share certificates in future, so you are indemnifying them. Okay? So what we are going to do is, I'll only emphasize on those clauses where you need to have attention. In case no special attention is provided, need to be provided, then I'll tell you that all you have to do is just copy paste the clause. So with that said, let's start with the clause 1. Now in this, as you can see, just provide the name of the registered shareholder. Okay? In case it is a single shareholder, you provide the single shareholder's name. In case they are joint shareholders, as much they are 2, 3, you'll provide the name of all the shareholders. Okay? Then further, they're asking for the details of the shares. Now the problem arises, you do not have the details. Then I have told you that when you send the mail to the company with the folio number, they actually provide you with the complete details of that folio, in which they will provide the number of shares, share certificate, distinctive number of those shares, and that is all the details which you need to provide here. Do remember, in this very clause, you will provide only the information of those shares certificates which you have lost. Let's say you have 100 shares in XYZ company, and the share certificates you have lost is only of the 50 shares. Rest 50 shares are there with you. So here in this clause, you will provide only the details of the shares which you have lost. For rest, you will not provide anything. Now, there could be a problem that how do we know that the shares certificate which we have lost? Well, it is obvious. I told you, from the detail, just reconcile, see the shares certificate number and match it with the details. You will know that these share certificates you have, and as a result the balance you have lost. Now moving on, clause 2. Nothing you need to do, just copy paste this second clause. Next comes clause 3. Again, you are providing the name, Mr. XYZ, whoever you are. Okay. Then further, you need to provide is the name of the surety 1, and then you will provide the name of the surety 2, which we will discuss about in the later part as to who are the sureties, what is the problem we face. Rest everything is same, copy paste. Moving further, then you provide the date. Well, date will be of the day when you will get it typed and notarized at the district court. So that will be the date you will provide, that when you will get it typed, you will get it typed on that very day only. Now comes the most important part of the indemnity agreement, which you need to execute on the 500 rupees stamp paper, non-judicial stamp paper. I'm telling you again. So what you need to provide in this section is 4 witnesses, signature, name and address. Now who are the witness? Lot of you must have applied for the passports, in which, if you are aware that they come for the verification at your home, physical verification, in which they do get the witness who are your neighbors. So in this, you need not have any kind of much of formalities. All you need to have is your any friend, relative, sign over here, provide their name and address, and that's it. Nothing else. No document required from the witnesses. Further, on the right hand side is a section for, so that should be 4 people. So you need 4 witnesses. Shareholders on the right hand side need to provide again name, address and signature. If they are joint shareholders, then joint shareholders, there is a sole shareholder, then sole shareholder will sign. Now comes surety again, and these are 2, these must be 2. They'll provide their name, address and signature. That's it. Now comes the next part, in which in detail you need to provide the information of surety 1 and 2. Rest of the information is simple, name, address and age, but the most important clause is the 4th clause, which says you need to provide either the employment details of the shareholder, in which they'll provide the employer name, their remuneration, emoluments, or you need to provide the details of the property being declared to the income tax department, or your business turnover. So which tells us that you need to have the shareholder which either files the return of salary or has a return of business income. So that is the major problem which people face while fulfilling the formalities. Preparing documents is not that difficult as compared to arranging the sureties. If you are complete with this 500 indemnity agreement, comes affidavit, which is being executed on non-judicial stamp paper of ₹100. It is being addressed to company. Again, name, age, your address, and minded it should be same as being provided on the ID proof. Then provide the name of the company, details of the shares again. 3rd, 4th, 5th clause should be same, nothing to be changed. In 6th clause, all you need to provide is the date. Okay? Moving on, again the verification, name, sign, phone number of shareholder, date, same. Further, in 8th clause, sorry. Further, here the execution part is complete. You need to execute 2 documents. You have completed them. Now comes as to what you need to do. As I've said it before, I'll tell it again to you that you need to get these documents notarized. And where you need to get these documents notarized, it should be a district court of that very district in which you reside. By that I mean is the district in which your address lies, which is being provided on the ID proof you are providing. Let's say you're providing Aadhaar card as your ID proof. On that, whatever address is being there as your residence address, in which district that address lies, of that district, the district of that very district court should be where you get your documents notarized. I'll repeat again. What I'm saying is the district court should be of the district in which your address lies. Simple as that. So now a general, a guidance as to what you should do, since there's a lot in the documents up till now. First, do one thing. Just take out the printout of this complete set of format. Okay? And then what you do is fill the document roughly with a pen, so that when you go to the typist to get it printed, you do not face a problem. So do mind it that in court you need to get it printed by the typist, because that is what I went through when I went for this execution. So you'll go to court and get it typed. So for that, just prepare it in rough and fill in all the details you need to get typed. After that, get it typed, get it notarized, as I told you, from the notary public. These all things will be completed by one person, which you'll find at court. You need to hire that lawyer at court, and he'll get all these things completed for you. But do remember, do take very good care while getting these things typed, because once typed, it won't be changed. And let's say still you make some mistake, wherever there is a mistake, just cut it and the shareholders will attest it. By attesting, you should be aware, I mean they will sign over there, okay, in case there is a problem. But do take good care of not having much mistakes, so that the document is readable and your work gets completed quickly. Further, now one part is over. Do remember, the stamp paper should be purchased in the name of the first registered shareholders in case there is joint shareholders. Okay? So this part is completed. After that arises the major problem which I told you before as to the sureties. See, these are the ones which are most difficult to arrange, because see, nobody is ready to provide their ITRs first of all, and nobody wants to be indemnifying anyone against any kind of loss. See, although it's a formality, as anybody cannot claim shares of anyone else, or by forgery, because these are multinational companies. They do have a strict control that nobody can claim shares just like that. If they are genuine holders, only then they get to have the shares. Otherwise, they do not get the shares. So they cannot claim the shares just like that. But still, nobody wants to indemnify, or people get afraid of signing any kind of documents. So this is the major problem which you will face, finding the sureties. Do look for them. And again, what they'll provide is their latest ITR. By latest, I mean whichever last ITR they have filed, they'll provide. Then PAN card and their ID proof, which could be Aadhaar card or passport. Any one of them. Again, registered holder will also provide the same thing. ITR, PAN card, Aadhaar card or passport for ID proof. Now comes the last part of your procedure, that is FIR, and which is one of the problematic area. So in this, what happens is, let's say whenever you lose something precious, what you do is file a FIR. So one of the major problem which arises is having an FIR filed. Let's say you lost your phone, you lost your car, you have lost any of your gold chain, your ornaments, you file an FIR. So same goes with the share certificates. If you lost them, you need to file an FIR and you need to provide the copy of FIR to the company. So what I'm going to tell you further is actual incident happened to me when I went to complete this procedure in my case. What you'll do is you'll go to your local police station. They will say that I've lost my share certificates and I need to file an FIR for that. So what will happen is they'll say that okay, just provide the application to us. That application should be written in the name of SHO of the local police station. You write that to SHO, address of police station, then subject. Rest you'll know, you'll aware how to write a letter. I'm not going to tell that. So you'll write that, and you'll prepare an application, you'll provide. And one thing do remember in that application, do not write in this way that I take the sole responsibility of this loss. Just provide that I lost these shares while I was cleaning my Almira at the time of Diwali. Just provide something like that and prepare your application. Okay, nothing else you need to do, and then you will provide the application. What they'll say is just prepare one copy of this application on which we will provide a stamp, and that is an FIR. Do remember that is not an FIR, that is just an acknowledgement of you filing an FIR. Ask them that you need the copy of FIR, which could be this, which is appearing on your screen right now. This is something called FIR, and it should look like this. In case you are in Delhi, then this is what it looks like. Usually it is a online facility being provided by Delhi police nowadays, but their portals aren't working properly. So if you'll file the FIR over there, what will happen is they'll take your FIR, but they will not generate the copy of the FIR to be provided as an evidence to the company. So what you need to do is you need to go to the local police station instead, and there you need to request that they should provide the printed FIR, which I am showing it to you on screen at the moment. Further, when for that you need to request them, or you know what you need to do, just do what they want and you'll get your FIR for sure. And that should be the FIR. In other states, it could be in the written form, but it has to be something looking like an FIR, and that you guys are intelligent enough to know that what is an FIR. So it should be FIR, not the application having stamp of the local police station. That is not an FIR. Do remember that. With that said, your documentation and draft is complete. All you need to do is send this complete draft to the address being provided in the mail which you receive from the side of the company, and in 30 to 45 days you will surely receive your duplicate share certificates. Now with that said, I'm just providing you with the summary of documents which we discussed. First was the 500 rupees indemnity agreement, 100 rupees affidavit, and then you provide the ITR, PAN card and Aadhaar card or passport of the shareholders and 2 sureties. The document should be signed by 2 sureties, shareholders and 4 witnesses. For the affidavit should be signed by the shareholder, and you need to provide the copy of FIR. Do remember that. People forget that. With that said, all you are left to do with is just send this draft on the address being provided by the company in the mail to you, and within 30 to 45 days you'll receive the duplicate shares, in case your formalities are totally correct. So do prepare your documents very carefully, and do provide all the details being asked for. I have provided you all the possible situations which you could have faced. So do them and you'll able to receive your duplicate shares. With that said, it is only one issue which I have shared with you, that is that the registered shareholder is alive and he has lost the shares. There could be possibly other problems like change of name on the shares, which is being faced by the women who have got their name changed after the marriage. There could be the possibility that shares were in the name of your forefathers and they are no more, or they are your father, grandparents. Basically, your lineal descendants. So you need to get those shares transmitted in your name, or let's say share certificates aren't lost, they are torn or are in bad condition, or any other case. So for that, formalities will be different. So what I've shared with you today is bread and butter of lot of financial consultants out there, stockbrokers, which charge around 1 to 5% of the total value of the shares, which is quite huge. I'm sharing it to you in free, and I'm telling you you'll able to get your problem sorted with this video if you follow all the instructions properly. And in case you have any other query, I'm providing you with my email ID and Instagram ID. You can contact me over there. With that said, if you like the video, just do share with others and they'll also gain. And with that said, thank you.